Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Astros Baseball. On this episode, we're going to talk about the Astros getting swept by the Cubs. We're going to talk about the player of the series, Ram Shirts player of the series, which you can win a shirt. Go to Astros Baseball Podcast at Gmail, and you can win that. We're talking about the standings, and then I know we've been waiting for this, and it needs to happen. But it's gut check time. We're going to talk about the Rockies and someone's back. But anyway, joining me as always, live out back in the nature is my good buddy Wally. Wally, what's up, buddy?
Well, we're trying to reset the mojo. The studio version wasn't working, and so we're going to try to go outside, get back into nature, get the Astros going again, because God knows they need it.
Well, if that doesn't work, the only thing I can think of is we're going to have to get together and
Yeah,
we'll just do it in the same room and see what happens.
that or drink heavily.
That would be cool. A drunk podcast. The last one I had it going there. If that was the last one, I think it was on Sunday.
Didn't work.
No, it didn't. But let's talk about the games. Let's talk about the games. I mean, I got notes, but I don't know what your opinion is. JP France. So bottom of the first, Bellinger had a 2-run homer, and I'm at work getting these alerts. And then Toshman, is that his name?
Mike Talkman, he's a guy that the Cubs got from the Yankees. He had a brief time with the Yankees and did some good things, and he seems to have found a home in Chicago. And he hit a ball to left field when I believe the wind was blowing in, and it got just into the basket and that cutout and let down the left field line.
So he had a 3-run homer. We're down 5-0. JP France and Hunter Brown are just pitching horribly. But JP France, hats off to him. He kept it together, and I think he threw 4 more scoreless innings. So
That's right.
hats off to him.
His line, his line is five innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs. Anytime you see a pitcher save the hits having 5s on there, that's not necessarily great. 6 strikeouts, a couple of home runs. That ball that Bellinger hit still hadn't hit the ground. 96 pitches, 55 strikes, a 1.8 whip. And that the whip is something we can talk about with the Astros, is that it's just high.
Yeah. So this is a kind of game that it got away from the Astros early, and I don't know if they were just like, here we go again, because the Astros players have to be feeling the way we do, like, here we go again. They tried to come back. They made it 5-2. Diaz drove a run in, and Jake Myers had a home run, but we ended up losing 7-2. I mean, they just didn't do anything. 2 runs on 6 hits, 1 for 4 RISP, and they left 5 on base.
Yeah, it's kind of a theme of the series that the bats really did not do a whole lot. We can talk a little bit later about what the stats were, but the weather got cold, and so did the Astros bats.
All right, so JP France, like I said, finished 5 innings. Scott gave up a run. Magic Man gave us two innings. He gave up a solo shot at the end. Altuve had 2 hits. Tucker had 2 hits. Diaz and Myers only had 1, but they drove in runs. Just not a lot of offense at all.
Not at all.
And then we go to game 2. So you look at the pitching matchups. We got France, then we got Arrighetti, and you're not that confident in it. Bottom of the first, again, I'm at work. Alert. Sack fly, a 3-run homer by Swanson. And just like, not exactly just like game 1, but we're down 4-0.
Yeah, it was maybe not exactly, but it's the same book being read again. And that's been a real problem with the Astros pitching, especially the young pitchers. They have got to learn, or they're still learning how to get out of trouble. For a team that's expected to go all the way, or at least make the playoffs and make a deep run into the playoffs, it's disappointing that we're having to have young pitchers learn on the job.
Yeah, so that's 9-0 in the first inning in the first 2 games. Jake had a sack bunt, brought in Singleton. Bregman had an RBI single, and I think that was his 1,000th hit.
It was either today or yesterday, or is that game? Or I think it was yesterday. Let me see. Bregman had one. I think it was yesterday, but he had this. He had maybe it was the set, but it's a little bloop thing to right
Yeah.
field. It's not one of these
RBI
screaming
single.
balls off. Not one of these screaming balls off the wall that Bregman's going to say, "Wow, that was a good one." One bright spot that we saw in Game 2 was that Sean Dubin looked really good.
Yeah.
He had some tough luck the last time he was out, and that Whitley came in and gave up his run scored. Espada probably should not have put him out in the ninth, and that's something that's repeating that we can talk about later in the cast. Is he in the game before he should not have put Dubin out in the ninth. Today he went 2 1/3. Clean innings, 3 strikeouts, 30 pitches, 20 strikes. Everything else is zeros. Really good job.
So we're down 4-0. Like I said, Jake drove one in, Bregman drove one in. It's 4-2 after 3 innings. The game is there for us to come back. It's not out of reach, but there's no scoring until the ninth inning when Altuve had a solo home run, his 6th shot of the year. And then the other people that got the other 3 outs, they didn't do anything. The Astros had 3 runs on 10 hits. They got 10 hits, 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and they left 10 on base. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, something. The LOBs has just got to change. Something with one of the Astros ran some numbers with the Astros, and one thing we're seeing with the Astros is that it's taking them about 2. They're leaving 2 guys on base for every run they score. 2.1 for every run they score. And I've run some numbers the last couple of days. The rest of the league is about 1.7. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're talking about game after game, you're 3 games you've left to run on the field as compared to the competition.
Yeah. So Arrighetti ended up going 3 2/3, 7 hits and 4 runs. And just like JP France, he didn't give up any more. Dubin, you already brought that up. Montero, another clean inning, and also Presley, 3 clean innings by the bullpen.
Presley was good. Presley was real good.
Good. Pena and Singleton both had 2 hits, and Jake Myers was the only starter that didn't have a hit. So the Astros were getting hits, but if you leave 10 guys on base, that means there's just one guy's getting a hit, and the rest of the guys are doing nothing.
Right.
So we go to game 3. We got JV, the savior. He's going to keep us from getting swept. We finally start out. They didn't score in the bottom of the first for the first time. Jordan, sac fly, we're up 1-0. And then bottom of the 6th, there was a force out. The guy scored from third, and then a 2-run bomb, 3-1 after 6. And that was the final score. No more offense.
Yeah, one of the things that we've talked about Espada leaving guys in a little bit too long. Some of this may be rookie. This is the second time in particular we can see in the last several days. When he left Dubin in to start the ninth after he had gone 2 already. He had in game 2, he pitched Montero. Montero only had 8 pitches. However, you've got a bullpen. You've got a day off that's really rested. So I was very, very surprised he didn't give Abreu a clean inning. Montero comes out, gets in a little bit of trouble. Abreu comes in and gives up a tank. Abreu's been horrible. There's really no reason to sugarcoat it. You look at Abreu's numbers right now, and his ERA right now is 4.97, and I'm surprised it's that low.
Yeah. So JV went 4 1/3, only 3 hits and no runs, and he had 7 strikeouts. But the thing about JV is he had 4 walks, and he spoke about it after the game, and he said, I should have lasted longer, but I was giving up too many walks. And then Joe Espada he got thrown out of the game because he didn't like the way the umpire was calling it, the strike zone. So what do you think about all that?
Yeah, Espada was right. JV JV would have made it through the fifth if not for a really terrible missed strike three call. I think it was Nico Horner was up and he gets a hit on a 1-2 pitch. It should have been strike three. You get that, he's probably out of the inning. If any of the viewers want to have a good site to go to, Umpire Scorecard's a really good Twitter site to be able to see what the umpires have done. I'd really like to see how this guy scored yesterday. Didn't recognize him, but it was weird that when Espada got thrown out, it wasn't one of these Aaron Boone, Lou Piniella, I'm throwing the base type of thing. He was just going up and talking to him. It was not making a big scene, was not showing the umpire up. And then the umpire tossed him. I mean, I wish Espada would have gone Billy Martin on him and kicked dirt on his shoes to show some fire, because
sometimes that's what the team needs.
Yeah, the team's in a funk. The team has got this dark cloud over its head, and it needs something to kick them up and show some fire. Put your finger in the umpire's chest, get suspended for a day or two.
Yeah,
do something. And you got Omar Lopez that ran the Venezuelan team in the World Baseball Classic. He could run that team for a couple of days if Espada doesn't. It's time. It's time to kick a few.
Well, we are going to get to that in gut check time. We got a segment called gut check time. We're going to get to that.
I do a gut check time too, and it's not pretty.
So Alex Bregman went 2 for 4 with a run, an RBI. Altuve 1 for 4. Kyle Tucker 1 for 3. The Astros, here it goes, folks. It's just, I don't know if you can handle all this offense. 1 run on 4 hits. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. 6 left on base. So that's 0 for 6.
Yeah, for the
1
series.
For 10 and 1 for 4.
Yeah, for the series, they were 2 for 20. So they got those 2 hits going for them. But hitting 100 runners in scoring position won't work.
All right, so
shocker.
This is probably going to be the most difficult award ceremony in the history of Astros baseball podcast. It is time, folks, for the Ram shirts.
Can we give it to Steffi for coming and join us the other night?
Players of the series. She deserves something. All right.
Yeah,
so,
she did. She pinned.
Once again, Astros baseball podcast at gmail.com. We will award the winner. It's the 26th of April. You got like 5 days left, maybe 4. Probably 4. Put it in. It's that easy to win. I think next month we're going to open it up to Twitter. So it's only you guys listening right now. It's not that hard. Send an email. All right. Pitcher, who do you got, buddy?
Ooh. It's got to be someone from the bullpen, because the starters ERA for the series was 6.23. Now, JV gave up nothing, but he only pitched 4 1/3, so it's hard to give it to him. Bullpen was 327 for the series. Let's go through what we've got. We've got Taylor Scott, 1 inning, no earned runs. Seth Martinez, 3 innings, an earned run. I tell you what, I'm gonna come off the outside and go with Sean Dubin. Sean Dubin went 2 1/3. Sean Dubin went 2 1/3, not just 2 1/3, 2 1/3 really good innings. And some guys, they don't give up hits, but they're giving up rockets that are just right at somebody. Dubin was really, really good and showed he belongs. He shouldn't be sent out. So 30 pitches, 20 strikes, 0.00 ERA and whip. So I'm going to give it to Sean Dubin. It's probably the first and maybe the only award he'll get in Major League Baseball.
Sean Dubin, folks. You heard it here first. I would have thought maybe he would get the Coach Rose Award, but
he can get both.
He can, I guess, if that's what you want to do. But I'm giving it to JV. I know he didn't go very far, but he didn't give up any runs. And you're talking about one guy gives up 5 runs in the first inning. The other guy gives up 4 innings. At least JV gave us a chance to win. And like you said, he would have pitched 5 innings, but the umpire kind of screwed him there. All right.
Not just kind of. He did screw him.
All right. Next up is the position player.
Okay. Um, there's really only one
Really?
position player that I would say that did well, really well. There's a couple of guys that hit okay,
Yeah.
but the two guys we've got that should be under consideration are Altuve and Tucker. Altuve is 4 for 13. He had one home run, uh, one struck out a couple of times, 7 total bases. Tucker was 4 for 11. Uh, also, one double, so he had 5 total bases. You know, Altuve hits 308. Tucker hits 364. Uh, so I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it to Tucker just because of the batting average.
Hmm. Well, I write down all the notes, like this guy drove in a run and that, I gave it to Jake Myers. He drove a run in game 1 and game 2. Why not?
Yeah,
Jake Myers.
yeah.
It's not like anybody's like deserving of it.
No, I mean, Tucker and Altuve had decent series, but what this team is really missing in all these is somebody to come up with a really big hit, a
Yeah.
big key hit that um the big key hit that just we talked about Caratini a few series ago, and he had that big pinch hit off the bench when Espada put him up for Dubon, and we're all wondering, why do you pinch hit for Dubon? He's such a good contact guy. Yeah, it's there's been some talk on Twitter about leadership, and there may be something to that, because the team acts like it's looking for somebody to take over and lead. The manager can do so much, but the best teams are teams that are player led. When you look at the personalities that are out there, Altuve is a good player, but he's not the kind of guy you see that's gonna dress somebody down or tell them to get it into gear. Alvarez is a quiet guy. Tucker is that same kind of guy. Bregman could be that guy, but right now he's hitting 220 or whatever he's hitting. I mean, he's having his own issues trying to get his game into shape.
All right, Wally,
He's
we're
hitting
doing play of the series right now, not gut check.
yeah.
I
You
know
got me
you're
going.
dying. You are
You
dying to
got
get to the
you
gut
got
check.
you got me going. There's a lot more to gut check on.
All right. Coach Rose, who you got?
Oh, let's go
Are
with
we
John.
gonna
Let's
Yeah,
let's
do
go
it.
with let's go with John Singleton.
We matched one.
Did we?
He had a game where he went 2 for 4. How can you not give it
Right.
to him?
2 for 7 in the series. He's not great, but he's giving you a sniff of something.
Yeah. Nobody's great. Nobody's doing anything.
It's no one's great. But he got a couple of hits. He looks like at least he has an idea, and Abreu's so lost. He's just wailing.
Yeah.
And hoping to catch up a fastball that he hadn't caught up to all year.
I was going to tell you. You remember last year how big of a deal that was when Abreu finally got a home run?
Oh yeah, and we
And
slid
the
into
team
home
was
base.
having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said they need a big moment, that's what they need. They
Yeah,
need something to happen to energize them. But we're going to get to that.
but one thing about that, when we talk about the position, is last year Abreu wasn't hitting, but the Astros were winning.
Yeah.
You can wait for a guy to come along when you're in first place, and you say, well, we're carrying it. We're 3 or 4 games ahead, or whatever we are, right in the race. They're 6 games behind right now, and guys have got to step up.
Yeah. It's
More
the same
gut
way
check.
they carried Maldi.
Yeah.
When the Astros were playing good, nobody cared that Maldi hit 189.
That's right.
But when they were struggling a little bit at the end of the year, everybody was mad because we got this really good young kid that's better than him, And so I understand that. So anyway, Seattle is the new leader of the AL West. But anyway, that's it. That's the Ram shirts. Player of the series. Make sure you go try to win that shirt. This is one right here. Ram shirts. I got so many Ram shirts. I got to give you my size, Wally.
Do
So
we do we need to get the disclaimer said no employees of Astros baseball podcast can win the shirt?
you can't win, Wally. I'll order you one though. I bought 2 more. I like them.
Yeah.
We should at least get matching.
I
But you
I
wear
need to send
collared
you
shirts.
I need to send you a TO shirt.
Yeah. I'm very big. I don't
I
look
think
like
I've
it
got
on
one.
screen. I look skinny,
I
but I'm not.
think I got one XL left.
Yeah, that's not big enough. All right. So Seattle's 13-12, Texas 13-13, the Angels 10-15, Oakland 10-16, and then Houston is 7-19. So that's the standings. But we're going to take a quick break. After this break, we're going to talk about gut check time. So stick around. Then we're going to talk about Colorado and somebody's back, if you didn't know. I got a few things about the schedule coming up, and then we got a poll, and then we got fair or foul. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Astros baseball. All right, we're back. And it is time. It is time, Wally. Gut check time. So there was actually a story on Astros website, and it's and I think it was JV. So let me tell you what I have, and then you do what you got to do. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right. So the Astros have their worst record through 26 games since they were 6-20 in 1969. I wasn't even born yet. They've lost 8 of 9 games. They scored 2.4 runs per game, and they have a 5.92 OPS. In the last 6 games, they have a 200 average with runners in scoring position. In the last 6 games, Wally, they have 2 home runs. This is the team that lives and dies with home runs. They don't play small ball in Houston. They need home runs. So Dubon, he said, it feels like a slap in the face. And JV said, and this is, I think JV's the guy that's trying to step up here. There's a lot of talent in here. It's gut check time. So that's where I get gut check time. And then here's Joe Espada. I'm not a fan of what he said here. And you can tell me what you think. I believe the team can turn it around and get back to playing the baseball we're capable of. We've got to fight. And if we do that, we'll be fine. I don't know. That's just such a generic thing. Of course.
Kind of milk toast, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, dude. You're a genius. You're a genius. If we can play like we should, we'll be okay. Really?
Yeah,
really?
It is time for people to be accountable. You know, the one of the things that's tougher for them right now, and I'm not making excuses for them at all, because these guys have not played.
Oh,
You know, especially runners in scoring position. You know, the number I threw out about hittings with runners in scoring position, how many guys are leaving on base compared to how many runs they do. You know, the higher that number is, the worse it is. And the Astros are terrible. They do seem to be looking for a leader. Everybody's looking around seems to have somebody pick it up and crack the whip. Is that how it looks like to you?
yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, Dubon said it's a slap in the face. Do something about it.
Yeah. Get mad.
Yeah. Get fired up. Yell at everybody. Mad. Somebody's got to get in somebody's face and say, "Hey, dude."
We talked about this a couple of casts ago. Is that they've always been in the lead, and they've proven they can be front runners. But the question is the Constitution there to stop? Is to come from behind. They've got 2 games in Colorado, in Mexico City, kind of an interesting thing with Mexico City. It's at altitude just like Colorado is. So for Colorado, from an environmental standpoint, it's going to be like playing at home. They they better win these two games, at least one of them. They lose both these games. They need to have the good old fashioned butt kicking team meeting.
That's true. We're gonna get to
It's
that.
there's not there's not much to be said that we haven't said on the pod.
That's actually
I
up
think
next.
the what we do have going for us is we've got pitchers that are coming back.
Yeah.
The Astros have been killed by playing uphill the entire season, and even though they lost yesterday, it was nice for 5 innings to play with a lead, and it's like hadn't seen that in a while.
Add some more, but they couldn't.
And they need to get they need to get a leader, and I'm just having trouble seeing it right now.
Yeah. If you look at the team, Tucker's quiet, Jordan's quiet, Altuve's quiet, Bregman's pretty quiet. It can't be anybody like Jose Abreu. Maybe Yiner. I don't know. Yiner Diaz can't really do
Yiner
it.
too young.
Yeah, who's
Yiner
going
too
to
young,
do
and
it?
he's scuffling right now too.
Maybe Dubon can do it. There's got to be somebody. Because JV is a starting pitcher. He's gonna have to do it.
He's the one guy that's got some. He's got the years. He's been around. He's got the personality.
Yep.
But usually these leaders have to be position players because
They
pitchers
do.
are they're once to twice a week guys, and they kind of go off and do their own thing.
Yeah, I was saying the only person we have that I can see is JV, and that's not going to work. But JV, how's JV going to get in their face? You need to hit, son. You need to try harder. Like it's got to be Bregman. They got to have a team meeting. They're like, are y'all tired of sucking?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with us? Let's go. Because there's no way that you have Altuve, Bregman, Yiner Diaz, Jordan Alvarez, and all these guys, and you suck this bad. There's no way.
Well, Jordan's been okay, but Jordan's not been great so far. I mean, he's been good for most players, but he hadn't been good for Jordan that we like to see, and hopefully that's coming about.
All right. So next up for the Astros, like Wally said, and we mentioned it last podcast too, Colorado and Mexico City. The Astros are off today, and they're off after the 2-game series for travel reasons. The game Saturday at 5:05 is Ronel Blanco, so you got to feel good about that. And Sunday at 3:05, not that he was pitching great, but maybe he will. Framber Valdez. We got Ronel Blanco, Framber Valdez against the Colorado Rockies. You already touched on it. I just made a video on TikTok about it. There's no freaking way in the world, Wally, that we shouldn't win both of these games.
You know, it's sad is we're only like a game ahead of the Rockies. You know that? They've won.
I think we have the same record.
Yeah, it's not much.
I think we have the same exact record, dude. And let me look it up. But the thing about it is, like, if you look at the Oakland A's, right? They're not even trying.
No, the Oakland just took a series from Oakland just took a series from the Yankees.
Did Oakland's 3-7 in the last 10 with a 1-game win streak?
I think it just took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees.
Colorado is 7-19, exact same record as the Astros.
That's dreadful.
The Astros are negative 36 run differential. Colorado's negative 56. They have to win. Another good news. Christian Javier went out for his neck. Said he's feeling better. Yeah. But we'll see. They sent him back to Houston. So he's not going to play in Colorado, but I think after they'll have a day off today, 2 games, another day off, and then they'll be at home against Cleveland. So I feel like we're
watching the movie Major League. Said win 1 today, that's a win. You win 2, that's a winning streak.
So if you think about it, JV Framber, Christian Javier, Ronel Blanco, and somebody else looks a lot different than throwing Arrighetti and Hunter Brown and JP France out there in a 3-game series. So maybe if the pitchers don't give up 5 runs in the first innings, I don't know, dude. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
why the
you know,
offense won't wake up. I don't get it.
I don't either. I don't either at all. The only saving grace the Astros have going for them now is that nobody in the West has run off and hit.
No.
The Astros are 6.5 outs, so that's you're basically saying to jump over 4 teams and get to first place if they can do it. You're
Yeah.
talking probably Memorial Day, because
Huh.
it's not just you got to make up games on Seattle, you've got to jump the other teams too. And,
Yep.
and Seattle's real. I said that before. I said that before the season. If you looked at a team that could be good and really give the Astros fit, Seattle was it. I thought much more than the Rangers. They've got a staff, and George Kirby hadn't started pitching yet.
Yeah. And they're only 13 and 12.
Yeah, and they
So
hadn't run. No one's run off and hit.
we're not
Have they?
done. We are not done, folks.
I mean, if we were in the East, in the East, we would be 10 games out.
Yeah. It's so early in the year, Wally. If somehow the Astros, because I don't even think they did it last year, but if you just put a win streak together, 5, 6, 7 game win streak, it changes everything.
Well,
But
it
can
changes
they
the
do it?
attitude.
Can
It
they do
changes
it?
the attitude of the team, not just the standings.
Yeah.
The team seems to be having a bit of a crisis of confidence going on right now, and they shouldn't, because they've been so good for so long.
All right. So I made a poll on X, and this is after game 1 of the Chicago series. I think the Astros were 7 and 17. So I had the thought, I pondered, do you think the Astros will win 10 games before they lose 20? It's 3 left on both sides. And I figured we could win with JV to make us 8, and then we could win both against the Rockies. And there we are. We're at 10. But that ain't how it worked out. We lost all 3 games. So we're 7 and 19. Now we got to win 3 in a row. But after game 1, you mean to tell you the results, or you want to give me your thoughts? Is it too late because they've already lost 2?
Well, golly, you know,
I voted yes. I thought they could. I voted that they would get to 10 wins first.
I think I went the other way.
You're negative.
Yeah, I am kind of negative right now. The talent's there. I'm just wondering what's going on between the years.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is the biggest thing going on. It's almost they don't think they can win right now, which is sad to say. I hope I'm completely wrong on that, but
Yeah.
Like we talked offline. It's tough for the batters to get up when you're getting your brains beat out in the first inning. You're down 4 and 5-0. It's Kansas City. You're down 9-0. Right then, you're just trying to save your bullpen and get as much
It
out of you
changes the
guys you
whole
can.
game.
Even the game they won against the Rangers, they're down 5-0, and the Rangers couldn't hold the lead. So I mean, that's 4 games. We've got 4 games right now that we can just think off the top of their head. They're down 4-5-0.
Yeah.
And at 9 against Kansas City.
So the Astros faithful on X, 66% said that they would lose 20 games before they won 10. 66%. I thought they could do it because I figure like I said, JV and then the Rockies. And now that we have Ronel Blanco and Framber going against Colorado, Cleveland, I don't know how good they're doing, but
Cleveland's playing real well.
Yeah. So if you look at May, we got Cleveland, Seattle, the Yankees. That's 3 tough ones. Then we got Detroit. They're not that bad. Oakland, Milwaukee, the Angels, Oakland, and then Seattle again. So it's going to be a pretty
Yeah, we got a tough schedule and tough schedule in May too. Manfred didn't do us any favors.
Yeah. You got to take care of those 2 Oakland series though. I mean, but Oakland's 10 and 16. So
yeah, and they've played some decent ball here lately. They've got a closer, Mason Miller, who's flat out electric.
All right. It is time for Wally's favorite segment, Fair or Foul. All right, number one, Wally, and you can feel free to come up with some of these. You can come
Yeah, I'll
up.
do
Hey,
that.
next episode, I'll come up with them. Can be baseball, whatever you want. I only got one baseball, but fair or foul, Jordan will hit a home run in Mexico City.
Fair.
I say fair as well. It's just the odds of him touching one.
Well, and it's light air up there. It's at altitude.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll hit one.
he should. All right, number two. These are just regular life ones. These are the fun ones, and I know we're both in relationships, so you do have a better half as well as I do.
Yeah, I definitely have a better half.
All right, folks, fair or foul, sitting on the same side of the booth when you go have dinner or lunch,
Usually that's
or
fair.
the same side of the table.
Usually that's fair. We went out last night and we couldn't sit on the same side because the air conditioning vent was dropping condensate on the other chair.
Mm. We always sit on the same side.
Usually that's fair.
Yeah. They try to sit us in like a little booth for two people where you got to sit opposite. My wife's like, mm-mm. We want a bigger table or a bigger booth.
Yeah.
It's fun. I don't know why you want to sit across from each other. It's just a lot better to sit next to each other. Some people don't like that, Wally.
Yeah, we were to Boozy last night, and it's kind of a fun place to go, and they have these old vents that were against the wall, and man, it was kind of humid outside, and so they were dripping like crazy. So we had to break the rule.
All right, number three. This happened to me when I went to the Washington Nationals versus the Phillies game. I can use my situation. I had an Astros hat on at a game where the Phillies and the Nationals were playing. And there was a guy behind me talking about some other dude wearing pirate stuff. And he's like, why is that guy wearing pirate stuff? They're not even playing. So fair or foul, wearing team's gear to a game and that team's not even playing.
That's fair. You've got your teams.
It's not like I was decked out in a uniform. I just had a hat.
No,
that's all the
fair.
hats I have.
Did the Philly guy drop an F-bomb on you?
No. I guess he didn't
see. That's surprising.
Because I guess he didn't see my hat because I was in front of him. And I'm just laughing like, this guy doesn't even know that, he's talking real loud. And you know what he sounded like? You know what I was calling him? Because the way he was talking, Rain Man. That's what I called him. And if you know what Rain Man is, folks, you know what I meant by calling this guy Rain Man. So he was talking, blah, 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 blah. He was by himself, and he was talking to the people next to us. And he's like, you mind if I scoot over? I can't hear you. Like, you think people want to be bothered by you?
Philly fans are not known for the use of their polysyllabic words.
I don't know what fan he was because we're in D.C.
Oh, D.C. then.
But the crowd was 50-50. They're pretty loud for the Phillies.
Yeah.
They had a lot of Philly fans
travel.
There. So I say it's fair. Like, what am I supposed to do? Go buy a $50 Nationals hat just for one game? Yeah.
That you'll put in the kitty litter box.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to wear a jersey. I'm not stupid, but I mean, whatever. I probably had an Astro shirt on too. I think I had the King Tuck on, but it was cold and I had a jacket on. So who cares? All right. I say fair if that wasn't the point, folks. Number 4. Taco Bell. Fair or foul? You like Taco Bell, Wally?
Foul.
Whoa.
Foul unless it's after midnight and I've had a few beers. Truthfully, I have never been to Taco Bell.
Never
been to Taco Bell before midnight or without having a couple.
Your Taco Bells are open at midnight? Oh, they open till 1.
They were, yeah. I think they are. They're not in the area I'm in right now. And when I was even when I was at college at UT, we didn't go. It was the thing for us was Burger King right at the north side of the drag, and we always saved $2.63 for a Whopper with cheese, no pickles or onions, order of fries and a Coke. And then those rat bastards raised the price 5 cents on me, and so here I am. After going out at night, looking on the floor of my 71 Chevelle for 5 cents so I can get my dinner.
I never eat at Burger King. We have one here by me, and it's always empty. I'm
I,
figuring it's
I'll
got to be gross.
I'll do it. Their sandwiches are pretty good, but just for their burgers, we're Whataburger
Yeah.
folks.
Well, if I haven't answered, folks, I love Taco Bell. Any time of the day, I don't care. I love it. My wife usually has dinner ready for us. We're always together, but sometimes we're not together, or sometimes she ate with a friend. And you know where I go? Taco Bell. I eat Taco Bell whenever I get the free time to eat Taco Bell because it's great. But that's it, Wally. You got any final thoughts?
Same thing that we've said before. Every series is important at this point. When you're down, when you're 12 games under 500, they're playing 2013 bad. There's a pall over the team right now, and each, e- even though it's against the Rockies, if you can get just a couple of good wins,
Yeah.
not just wins, but good solid wins, games that you jump out early, keep the lead, add on, play clean defense, get good pitching, just a total complete game, 2 games in a row. Then they come back into town. I think they're playing Cleveland. You said on Monday
Yeah.
or
On Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Um,
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. I mean, Cleveland's 18-7. Let's be interesting to see who pitches. The probable they have on ESPN is JP France, and we know that's not it because JP got sent out. What do you think about that?
He got sent back.
Yeah, he got sent out.
Well, I don't know.
Fromber got activated, and JP got sent out. I mean, neither he nor Brown, I guess, is he or Brown and or Arrighetti. Arrighetti showed a little bit this last game. He showed some moxie staying in the game.
Yeah.
Like
I
we
think
talked
JP
earlier.
France did also.
Yeah, the games are kind of overlays
He gave
on
up
each other.
he gave up 5 runs and he pitched 5 innings and didn't give up any more.
Yeah. And Brown, I guess they think he has too much stuff, and Brown had the same thing. Gave up early runs and then hung in.
Yeah.
But it's God, did you ever in your life think that you'd be saying it to 2-game series against the Colorado Rockies was a big series?
Yeah. We always think like, okay, you can't be good forever. But you would expect that the Astros were going to be bad after they leave. Not leave. I'm trying to say the same thing twice. After everybody leaves, but they're still stacked. 7-19, Wally. 7-19.
And spring training. But when we came out of spring training, we all on the podcast, I think we had 4 of us together.
Mm-hmm.
We all said they looked ready. The record was about 500, which is fine. Take the record in spring training for what it is, but they looked ready to go. They got hit in the mouth by the Yankees. A couple of those games they should have won.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that was a precursor of what we've seen so far.
It was.
Ryan got into a conversation with people about games under 500 on Twitter, and you think about the Astros being 12 under, but there's 5 or 6 games that we've given up late.
Yep.
You win those games, we're at 500. I mean, we're still 12 games below 500, but if you win those games, that's when you take off the loss column, when you put on the win column. You're feeling a little better about yourself. You're ready to spring. Those late bullpen losses have been devastating.
Yeah. I wanted to look back and see how many games we lost because of Abreu, Presley, and Hader, because those are the 3 that we thought, like, you get us to the 7th, the game is over, but that definitely isn't the point. But definitely isn't what happened. But my final thought is this, folks. We are 7-19. We could possibly be 9-19 when we get back. But my friend was telling me that he was trying to go to the last homestand, and people were practically giving tickets away. So there's people out there giving up on this team, and I'm saying don't give up on them yet. They have way too much talent that they just can't seem to get out, and we know they need a leader, so someone has to step up. But I think like we're saying, like have a good series, have something to
Go have
motivate
fun.
you, have something. Yeah, have fun. They don't have
Have
fun.
fun. They don't look like they're having. Of course, when you're getting your brains beat out, you shouldn't have fun. But go have fun in that moment and see how that goes. I mean, it's easy for us to say
Don't be
every one
cannon
of those.
fodder.
Yeah, that's right. Every one of those guys. The one thing they have is they've played at least one more major league game than we'll ever play.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm not gonna talk bad about anybody.
yeah,
All right, so that's all I have. I think that's all Wally has from the great outdoors. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Astros Baseball. Peace.